What happens when the leader of the most powerful nation in the world takes bold steps that directly impact millions of people halfway across the globe? When Donald Trump took office, his policies didn't just shake up America, they reverberated through Muslim-majority countries, causing lasting changes that continue to affect geopolitics, trade, and people's lives. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the unexpected and often controversial effects of Trump's policies on Muslim nations. From the infamous travel ban to shifting alliances in the Middle East, we'll explore how his presidency has altered the global landscape for millions of people around the world. Stick with me as we uncover the truth behind his decisions and the ripple effects that are still being felt. Perhaps one of the most significant and controversial actions during Trump's presidency was the Muslim travel ban. It was one of the first executive orders he signed, and it set the tone for his approach to foreign policy. On January 27, 2017, Trump signed an order barring citizens from 7 predominantly Muslim countries: Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, from entering the United States. It was a moment that sparked protests around the globe. People felt the immediate effects. Families were torn apart, students were stranded, and business people found themselves locked out of opportunities. What was presented as a national security measure had an undeniable impact on innocent people trying to lead normal lives. But how did it really affect Muslim nations in the long term? The impact wasn't just emotional, it had practical consequences. For years, many Muslim travelers faced uncertainty about whether they would ever be able to visit the United States again. It also added to the growing sense of discrimination many Muslims felt in America. The ripple effects were felt not only in the US but in countries around the world, as nations responded with their own retaliatory measures. It's safe to say the travel ban was one of the defining moments of Trump's first year in office. While the travel ban grabbed headlines, another devastating effect of Trump's policies was the way they fueled Islamophobia and increased surveillance on Muslim communities. Trump's rhetoric wasn't just about policies, it also stoked fears, creating a toxic atmosphere of mistrust and division. Trump's words on the campaign trail and throughout his presidency often vilified Muslims. He referred to certain countries as terrorist states and justified his policies by claiming that they were necessary to protect national security. While his supporters may have backed him, many Muslims felt that their communities were being unfairly targeted. This rhetoric didn't just stay within the walls of the White House, it filtered out into society. Hate crimes against Muslims surged, and Muslim Americans found themselves under increased scrutiny. For many, it wasn't just about fear, it became about survival in an increasingly hostile environment. When we talk about the effects of Trump's policies on Muslim-majority countries, we can't ignore his foreign relations. Trump's presidency dramatically altered how the US engaged with the Middle East, especially with nations like Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Turkey. Take, for example, the move of the US Embassy to Jerusalem. This controversial decision was widely criticized by Muslim-majority nations and the international community. The move was seen as a direct blow to Palestinian claims and an unfair tilt toward Israel. For many Muslims, it represented a betrayal of the Palestinian cause, deepening tensions between the US and several Muslim countries. Then there's the relationship with Saudi Arabia, which became one of Trump's closest alliances. Trump's refusal to confront Saudi Arabia over its human rights abuses, particularly after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, drew international condemnation. Despite this, Trump's administration cemented strong military and trade ties with the kingdom. Why? Because it suited his America First strategy, especially when it came to lucrative arms deals and securing oil interests. But this relationship wasn't without its complexities. Saudi Arabia's crackdown on dissent, its war in Yemen, and its treatment of women were all overlooked by the Trump administration in favor of strategic and economic benefits. For many across the Muslim world, this was seen as a troubling example of hypocrisy in US foreign policy. And then there was Turkey. One of the more significant shifts in US-Muslim relations under Trump occurred when the US decided to withdraw troops from Syria in 2019. This decision was met with fury by Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who saw it as a betrayal, especially after Turkey had been an important NATO ally. The decision to pull out left Kurdish allies vulnerable to Turkish forces, leading to widespread criticism not only from Turkey but also from across the Middle East. Trump's impulsive foreign policy decisions created a sense of instability, with long-term consequences for regional security. As we look back on Trump's policies, it's clear they've had profound and lasting effects on Muslim nations. From economic tensions to military alliances, his presidency left a footprint on US-Muslim relations that will be felt for decades to come. But the question remains, will future US administrations continue down this path, or will there be a shift toward greater diplomacy and understanding? Trump's time in office reshaped the way Muslim-majority countries view the United States. While his policies may have strengthened certain alliances, they also deepened divides, fostered mistrust, and ignited tensions. And with the rise of a new political era in the US, one can only wonder how these relationships will evolve. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Trump's policies made a lasting impact on Muslim nations, or do you believe they'll be reversed in the future? Drop a comment below with your opinion. Let's discuss. And if you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with others, and subscribe for more content on global politics, history, and international relations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.